Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got a React Andy video for you guys today. We're going to be live reacting to the Celestial Guardians expansion trailer. This time, I'm on time. Like, normally when I make these videos, the video's out for like 3 hours, and I'm just like the last one to upload about it. But not today, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am ready. Mom spaghetti. I am recording, right? Because I'm always paranoid when I do these videos because, you know, it's a one-take thing, and I could just completely ruin it. It seems like we're featuring Pokemon from Sun and Moon. Now, this may be very exciting for a lot of you, but I personally have not played these games. Like Sun and Moon and Scarlet Violet, I think is the name. Those are the two generations that I didn't play. I did play Sword and Shield, but I skipped Sun and Moon. I had a lot going on in my life then, and I never got to like actually buy in the game. And I do have a good friend who like played through it, but obviously I do know most of the Pokemon from it. But my knowledge is very, compared to what I generally know, it's just very limited, right? Like I know that these are the two legendaries. I know that they're a reference to the Sun and the Moon, but I can't quite recall even like what their typings were or what their names are. I do know the starters, you know, the Decidueye, Incineroar, and the Water Fairy. Like something Ratina or something like that. Primarina, I think it was called. And you know, there's a lot of things that I like about it, but I'm not nearly as knowledgeable. So we'll see if some of the Pokemon announced here like land with me or they don't. But all in all, I'm excited for new cards. That's just everything. Like new cards, we're gonna see how the meta revolves around the new basic EX Pokemons. I don't know if these are basics though. Like I don't know that with certainty. But at this point, I'm just rambling, to be honest. So it's been 2 minutes and I haven't even clicked on the video. Pretty damn hyped though. Let's take a look into Celestial Guardians. That is loud. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's leave a like. The video is well shown. All right, here we go. Simulated game footage. You're telling me it doesn't look like this in game? Okay, we get the starters. We'll be looking back. I'm gonna watch the whole trailer, then we'll look back into it. Solgaleo EX. Alolan Raichu. I do know about that. I also know about that horrible Lunala. They're stage 2 evolutions. These legendaries are stage 2 evolutions. Alolan Marowak. I'm a big fan of that one. Rare candy? Wait, what? I've heard about rare candy. Okay, there's a lot of supporters. Okay, there's a lot of information for us to take in. How many supporters is that? Okay. Now that we watched it, I basically absorbed no information whatsoever. So I'm now that we see the entire thing, we're gonna pause every single time and see. Okay, and now we analyze, because in the past people have been saying like, oh, your first watch you're like pausing all the time. So I tried to do it, you know, the way you guys wanted me to, but I just like basically I just saw a lot of supporters, which is very exciting. I saw rare candy, which is exciting and scary at the same time. And I realized that the legendaries are stage 2 evolutions. I'm not familiar with these two guys. Like, I just don't know much about them. So just bear with me in that sense. I didn't play these series of games. Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio. Rowlet has a 60-20 vanilla, you know, stat line distribution. Litten deals 30 with Heat Tackle, while also dealing 10 damage to itself. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. Like, Litten already is very solid. Like, yeah, you're doing 10 damage to yourself, but 30 damage for 1 energy on a basic evolution as a part of a stage 2 evolution line is no joke. Like, that's really interesting. Like, Litten is like the only one that's just not vanilla out of these three. And what? God, why am I so slow? And then there's different versions of these. So now there's a Litten that's actually vanilla, and then Rowlet with the skill dive. This attack does 10 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so Rowlet can hit anything for 10. That's like, you know, that's a worse version of Rotom and a far worse version of Hitmonlee, even though you can attack the front with it as well. But it's on a basic Pokemon that's a part of a stage 2 evolution line. So I wonder if the Decidueye will have any sort of interaction with damaged Pokemon. And then Poplio just sings, you know, another Wigglytuff, but this time with 60 HP. And an attack that can be enabled with any type of energy as well. All these are interesting and for their own reasons. Okay. And these are the two legendaries. But I saw stage 2. There's gonna be 2 packs. So can I look at this more? Okay, there we go. Solgaleo EX, 180 HP, stage 2 evolution. It evolves from, I don't know what that is. If you guys can let me know in the comment section down below, like how the evolution line works with these two. Like, are they two different? Like, do they stem from different Pokemon, or is it a case where like there's these legendary Pokemon and then you can evolve it into either this and the other one? I feel like that may be the case here. Rising Road. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. And then Soul Breaker, this Pokemon also deals 10 damage to itself, dealing 120 damage for 2 energy. I mean, this card is just cracked. But again, it's a stage 2 evolution, right? Like, you can get crazier with stage 2 evolution designs because, you know, you need to find all pieces for them to begin with. But this is very compelling. Like, right off the bat, like, this may be the very first time that we go into a set where they don't just drop like these busted EX basics on us, and instead they try to make a stage 2 meta. Like, will these Pokemon be able to overtake the likes of Darkrai and Giratina and Arceus? That's the question right there. This is very powerful. Like, 2 energy, 120 damage is insane. 180 HP is phenomenal. And the Rising Road ability is exceptional because you can build this up. Basically, this is crazy because you can have something like a Snorlax or an Onix or like something massive that with like 4 Treeckows in the front. And then you build up Solgaleo in the back, and then once Solgaleo is ready, with Rising Road, you just swap them. You don't need Leaf, you don't need XP, you don't need to put energy on the frontliner, you don't need any of that. And you bring this in, and you're dealing 120 damage for 2 energy. Like, you're doing 10 damage to yourself, but 180 HP makes it so that you're essentially going to be left down at 170, which allows you to survive most high-end attacks. I'm a big fan of this design already. Like, Rising Road is it's a perfect ability for a stage 2 evolution. It's a really, really good ability for a stage 2 evolution. And it's a steel type. We got the Alolan Meowth. I have seen photos of the Alolan Persian, and it just left me with a bunch of questions. Like, I don't even know why that was ever a thing to begin with. But, yeah, we don't know much about it. It's just vanilla. And then Oricorio, I have no idea who. Oh, my God. I have not the slightest idea who you are. I don't even know if, like, you're the thing on top or the thing on the bottom. I don't know. 70 HP. Dazzle Dance. 40 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Not very impressed with Oricorio unless it's a part of a stage 1 or 2 evolution line and things get a lot better from there. And not much you can say about Alolan Meowth. Like, I don't know why they show Alolan Meowth. I mean, this is a way of telling them, oh, Alolan Persian is coming. For like that one guy who's a fan of that Pokemon. But the fact that they show us the vanilla one doesn't really give us much more information to work with. Alolan Raichu EX though. Okay, so I like Raichu. I'm not crazy about Alolan Raichu's design, like the art. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they made Raichu look worse with the Alolan version, but maybe that's just me. You know, like it kind of falls into not quite Alolan Persian levels, but you know, it's just. I do think there's some really dope Alolan, like Alolan Sandslash, right? Alolan Executor as well is something I'm a big fan of as well. Maybe we can expect that here. 3 energy psychic, no specific energy requirement, ladies and gentlemen. 60 damage initially. This attack deals 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. If Alolan Raichu is attacking a Darkrai with 3 energy on it, you're going to be dealing a total of 150 damage. So you knock it out, unless it has a giant cape. You also knock out Giratina EX. So all in all, this Pokemon already matches up well into the meta to a certain degree. As you're dealing 150 damage to Gyarados, for example. If it loses energy itself, but if it doesn't and it preserves it, you actually knock it out in one hit too. And you're hitting it super effectively as well. So never mind. Like you can even like With the red boost, you can just guaranteed knock out Gyarados every single time with this. And the interesting thing is that you can slap Raichu onto pretty much any deck because the energy requirement is just normal. So this card can go everywhere. And that's super interesting. Like, to take that approach with Raichu of all Pokemon is quite intriguing. I wonder if we'll get like a stage 1, like a basic Pikachu that also functions with colorless energy as well. Because then this could start making deck building in Pokemon Pocket quite spicy. Being able to blend in an electric attacker into like any sort of specific deck. I'm intrigued by this one. 140 HP, you know, not too high, not too low. For stage 1, that's pretty alright. And Lunala. Lunala, Miguel. Okay, what does Lunala do? Psychic Connect. Once during your turn, you may move all psychic energy from one of your benched psychic Pokemon to your active Pokemon. So like a psychic version of Vaporeon, but more limited because you can only activate this once per turn. And you can only use one target. Vaporeon can just take the one energy from anything as many times as he wants. But Lunala is limited to that. It's also a stage 2 evolution. It does seem to evolve from something different. That kind of like looks the same as the one from like the lion. Somebody confirm me in the comments, like what? I mean, I can literally Google this, but I just right now I don't know. But they look very similar. 180 HP, a Lunar Blast that deals 100 damage for 3 energy as a stage 2 evolution. You may move all psychic energy from one of your bench. I mean, this works with Giratina, right? Like you can play this with Giratina and just pass over the energy from Giratina to something in the front. But are you really setting up a stage 2 evolution for a 100 damage attack for 3 energy? Like, it's not the kind of attack like, you know, evolving a stage 2 evolution line is hard enough already. So it's not like, you know, accelerating into this Lunar Blast is that great to begin with because of the fact that it's a stage 2 evolution. This ability must be extremely powerful. Maybe there's some context that I'm missing from the set. Maybe there's a specific Pokemon that I mean, there will be psychic Pokemon that will synergize with this. So it's hard to evaluate this ability. Right now, the Solaleo, the lion, is far more impressive. At least when it comes to initial, you know, my initial reaction to it. Like I just feel like that ability to just swap with anything in the front and come in and deal 120 for 2 energy just feels amazing. This is I need more context. Really, like right now that I'm thinking of, like it's just like it does synergize with Giratina naturally, but is that good enough like of a payoff for like a stage 2 evolution? Like I don't quite see it right now, but I think you know things will be way more clear when we see the actual set. Oricario, 70 HP, Spiteful Dance. Why is this cloud in the middle, man? I just want to read text. Like, well, why do they make reading hard in these videos? I just deliberately do this. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack deals 60 more damage. That is a Marshadow. A psychic type Marshadow that functions with 1 energy. That's actually scary. It has less bulk and it caps out at less damage, but the fact that you can basically like you can activate it immediately. You don't need, like with Marshadow, you need to set up that energy onto it prior. With this, you can just like focus the entire game on building something else and then bring in Oricorio and be like, hey, if you kill my Pokemon, I bring this in and I just put an energy on it and I hit you for 80 damage. Now, 80 damage is capping out at less, but that's still quite impressive. Like being able to hit something for 80 damage for 1 energy, just like that on a basic Pokemon that doesn't require other pieces, and it's not an EX Pokemon either, is very, very strong. Will it be as powerful as Marshadow? Because a lot of times Marshadow, you really need to be able to hit them heavily with it. And this kind of like falls a little bit short in that sense. It's sacrificing power for speed. But is that the kind of thing that you want out of a card like this to begin with? I'm not sure. I actually don't think this will be as good as Marshadow, though I could be very wrong. Like maybe it doesn't hurt to just like splash this into something. But all in all, it's definitely interesting. And then Vulpix, let's see if I can read this shit. Oh my god. Call forth cold. I can't. Okay, now I can. Take a water energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. So, okay, so it just ramps. It's just like an executor, like execute, but with water, and it just like ramps water onto itself. So that means we're getting a Alolan Ninetales, which I think is a fan favorite. The Vulpix looks beautiful, to be honest. Like I love the color combination. Reminds me of like a Abomasnow. It's like a fox version of Abomasnow. And yeah, not much more to say about it. It's just ramping onto itself. We have to see Alolan Ninetales to see where that goes. And Alolan Marowak. I think Marowak is all right, but I called it Marowak. Marowak is pretty cool, but Alolan Marowak is definitely like a significant upgrade in my opinion. Just you know, the typing, just the vibes you get from it. Like, look at that bone with like the ghost green flames. I don't know how to label that. Let's see. It's a fire type, which makes sense because Alolan Marowak, in case you don't know, is a ghost fire type. I do know some things. Okay. 110 HP, 3 energy, burning boomerang attack. Of course, it's a coin flip attack, just like a Marowak EX. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 70 damage for each heads. If at least one of them is heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Okay, as a stage 1 evolution, 110 HP is used to be a lot better than it is now. Magnet Zone one-shots this if it doesn't have a giant cape. Even with a giant cape, there's no way you can survive an attack from Giratina, right? So it's definitely on the low end of the spectrum when it comes to bulk, right? It is an upgrade from like the regular Marowak that has 100 HP, but it's not a terrible HP stat, but I think the meta is not kind to it. And it's a 3 energy attacker, right? For 3 energy, most of the time you're going to be dealing 90. I don't know if 90 is most of the time, but basically you're going to be flipping 1 heads and then you're going to be burning the opponent. So 90 damage for 3 energy is nothing crazy to go about. You do have the potential to high roll, which means you're going to be doing 160 damage, which allows you to one-shot an EX Pokemon. But that's only really happening like 25% of the time. So all in all, like, the card is beautiful. But from a competitive standpoint, I don't quite see it. The fact that it's just 3 energy is really holding it back. Because Marowak EX just hits harder and does so for like 2 energy. I mean, yeah, you don't get the burn effect, right? Like this technically is capping out, but it's asking 1 more energy out of you. It has significantly less bulk than Marowak EX does. I understand Marowak EX is an EX Pokemon, but still, it's just I'm gonna brew with it. Don't get me wrong. Like I am gonna try it. But definitely doesn't feel very competitive at first glance. Like it's hard to see it like really thrive in the meta, to be honest. And now we see, okay, now this is the hype part. Okay, there's a lot. We got like these items. There's a bunch of supporters. Let's take it 1 card at a time. Random decks. Look at the top card of your deck. Then you may shuffle your deck. Interesting. So it's like it's kind of like an upgrade from Pokedex. It's just, it could be like, I could see this card in decks that go all in on a specific combo and like really need to find a specific card. If they find a specific card early, like they really snowball, right? So in specific builds like that, I can see this card being played, but in the vast majority of decks, it's just not going to see play. But it's nice to have that tool for more, you know, more like fun combo-based decks that want to find very specific pieces as early as possible. I could see myself running Rotom decks there. Rare Candy. This is a card that I, you know, ever since I started, before we got Pokemon Communication and Stage 2s were just like very inconsistent, I was asking for like a way to make them more consistent. And a lot of people were suggesting, oh, Rare Candy from the Pokemon trading card game. But a lot of people then said that it would be like really broken for that because it would make things too consistent. Let's see what they've done with it in Pokemon Pocket. Let's take a look. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a Stage 2 card in your... It's the same thing. Oh my god, it's the same thing. If you have a Stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping the Stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. Isn't this just the same? Oh my god, isn't this just... This is crazy. This card changes everything. This card flips Pokemon Pocket on its head. Are you kidding? They actually did it. They actually, oh my god, oh, the madman. Oh my god. This is nuts. This card is nuts. Like, this card, just imagine playing a Bulbasaur turn 1, and then, you know, the turn passes, the next turn, and then you drop Rare Candy and you evolve into a Venusaur. I mean, maybe not the greatest example because Venusaur needs 3 energy to attack, but, you know, like, you can do this with anything. With Greninja. With Greninja, dude. Oh my. Stage 2 evolution's got a massive buff. Massive buff, which aligns with the fact that we're getting the legendary stage 2s, right? Oh, this is... The game as we know it is just... No, you don't understand. Like, this card... This card just completely dunks on, like Pokemon Pocket as we know it is no longer... Like, now, all of a sudden, like, stage 2 evolutions... it's just so much... It's really hard for me to just, like, start visualizing, like, I have to go over every single stage 2 evolution line and be like, how much do I benefit from just, like, accelerating the evolution onto this? Like, there's just so many cases where all of a sudden, like, Pokemon who would not be deemed viable are potentially really good. Holy crap, man. That's I have no words. Like, I'm shocked that they actually did this. I have no idea what the actual, like, consequences of releasing this card are gonna be. But yeah, no, this is gonna change the metagame to a degree that I don't think we have witnessed up until now. Like, this is really, really that crazy, guys. This is a massive, massive deal. My brain is just kind of like fried at this point because there's so many stage 2s that I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god. With Pokemon Communication and now this. Like, I thought Rare Candy was never happening because we got Pokemon Communication, which seems like a more responsible way of enhancing stage 2 consistencies. But it turned out Pokemon Communication was better for stage 1 decks. Because after you reach a certain amount of cards in the deck, like, once you reach like 10 total Pokemon in your deck, then Pokemon Communication becomes very inaccurate, right? 7 or 8 Pokemon is the perfect number for Pokemon Communication. But now that just doesn't matter. Like, now we have rare. Oh my god, man! Like, this is what, like, most people should be talking about. This card is holy. Oh my goodness. Oh god, I click on it. Wait, oh god, I'm slow. Okay. Eileen, I don't know who she is. Put one of your normal Pokemon that has damage on it into your hand. So like a Koga, but for any normal type Pokemon. That's super cool. Like, that is really, really cool. And could potentially be even more cool if we get some interesting normal types, normal basic types to work with. But I'm a big fan of these sort of cards that just, like, essentially heal the Pokemon. Like, you sacrifice a little bit of momentum, but you also prevent your opponent from gaining a point and leaving that Pokemon vulnerable to Cyrus. And with normal types, like, what could these be combined with, like, what we have now? Like, we have stuff like Kangaskhan, like, bouncing back Kangaskhan could be interesting. Bouncing back Snorlax feels detrimental unless you're just not putting any energy onto that Snorlax and building something in the back. Then it could be really good, actually. Oh, Snorlax, it could be like that 140 bulk. And then maybe building up a Snorlax in the back and then, like, making it more consistent. Like, okay, I like this. Lana and Kiawe. I assume water and fire. You can use this card only if you have Araquanid in play. I do know what that Pokemon is. It's a bug, water type. It has an ability that it has a very strong, like, liquidation attack. Like, I've seen it a lot in Pokemon Showdown, basically. So we know we're getting that guy. I assume it'll be water type. It could also be grass type since it's a bug type too, but I think it makes more sense for it to be a water type in Pokemon Pocket. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active slot. Interesting. So with Arachnoid, this is just basically like a It's like a leaf, really. It's quite simply a leaf, but it's more powerful than a leaf because no matter what the retreat cost of, maybe Arachnid has like a very high retreat cost and it's meant to pair with this card that can just like swap it out for something else. And by having a very high retreat cost, Arachnid may have like other traits that are like significantly above average because it has, you know, cards always like pay a price for the good stuff they got going on for them and have something else that makes them a bit worse. And Arachnid may be a pretty strong card that just has this massive retreat cost, and then Lana is there to nullify it. That's my prediction. Kiawe, choose one of your loaded Marowak or Turtonator. I don't know who Turtonator is. Take 2 energy from your energy zone and attach it to that Pokemon. Your turn ends. Oh, okay. Remember what I said about a loaded Marowak? Never mind. Never mind. You get to ram 2 energy onto it with a trainer card, but your turn ends. You can't attack with it that turn. But you could build it up in the back, play Kiawe, and then the next turn bring it in and start attacking. Oh, okay. I'm excited that because it felt kind of like unplayable to a degree. I thought maybe Marowak was just gonna be like pure filler, but all right. I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. And we got so many. Acerola, Mallow, and Sophocles. Are all these like? I assume these are all Sun and Moon gym leaders. I'm gonna go ahead and take that guess. We got the grass type here. Heal all damage from one of your Shiinotic or Tsarina. If you do, discard all energy from that Pokemon. Shiinotic is the 2 energy sleeper, right? Maybe we get a new version of it. I mean, that's a price to pay. In what decks do you play this when you already have stuff like Erica that doesn't discard all energy from that Pokemon? Until I see like what these Pokemon actually do, how they function, how much energy they need to attack, I can't really properly evaluate this card, but it just feels like a strictly worse version of Erica, really. But maybe in some deck where you're running that and Erica, but we'll see. I'm not very impressed by this one, to be honest. I can't read Sophocles, man. Can I? Is there a way for? Why do they do this, bro? Why do they? No. Why did like? See, why did they? This is something like really annoying about Pokemon Pocket like trailers. Like they deliberately hide the information. It just like forced me to like do this shit. Choose one of your Palossand or Mimikyu. I do know who Mimikyu is. I don't know who Palossand is. There's so many Pokemon from this generation that I'm actually not familiar with. That has damage on it. Move 40 of its damage to your opponent's active. What? What? Wait. Okay, this card is fire. Up to 40 damage. You can take that, heal it, and pass it over to what? That is broken. That is so good. That's like 80 damage. Potentially up to 80 damage. So, oh my god. Yo, that's... okay, I'm super intrigued by this card. I didn't see what Palossand and Mimikyu are like, right? Hopefully they're not terrible because I got a feeling the cards are going to be pretty underwhelming if they get to pair with this thing. Oh my god. That is scary. That is very powerful. Can I read this guy? Oh my god. Oh, this is going to be so difficult. Is there any moment where they they just keep hiding it more and more. I have to catch it at the very beginning. During this turn, okay, we saw during this turn. And here it says your opponent's active Pokemon, okay? During this turn, attacks used by your Alolan Kavolt or Togedemaru do plus 30 damage to your, so a Blaine version. A Blaine version for whatever these assholes are. Volcavolt, right? And Togedemaru. I'm not familiar with these. But basically a plus 30 damage boost, like a Blaine version for them. You know, in order to properly evaluate it, we have to see those Pokemon and see how well they hit. Lots of, like, I think we're getting a full trainer, full gym leader set here. And Lily, why? That was really fast. Heal 60 damage from one of your Stage 2 Pokemon. Oh, you know the first thing that comes to mind? Venusaur. I'm biased. I'm definitely biased, but the fact that you can play Erica and Lily with Venusaur is very exciting. Yeah, I mean I love it. I think it's about damn time we got cards that function with stage 2 evolutions. What I'm really, really excited about this set is the overlying theme. April 30th, we get it. Less than a week from now, ladies and gentlemen. What I really like about this expansion, from what I you know, the peak of the iceberg, so to speak, is that it's just centered around enhancing stage 2 evolutions. How many times have we, like, at this point, Pokemon Pocket is essentially like basic EX piles the game. Like, eventually, every time a meta develops, it always revolves around basic Pokemon, which I personally find to be a boring aspect of Pokemon Pocket, but a natural occurrence, really, given the core design of the game. Basic EX Pokemon just offer so many advantages. You have more space in your deck to put other cards, and you are more consistent as a deck because you don't need to draw other pieces to complete them. So they are just naturally, inherently better in the game than stage 2 evolutions are, for the most part. So it does get a little bit dull when it's like back-to-back expansion. It's always like, oh, we have a Celebi meta. Oh, now we have an Arceus Dialga meta. Now we have a Giratina Darkrai. Like it's always just like basic piles. People are always trying to figure out like what's the best basic pile. This expansion could really, really change things because we're getting a lot of very efficient support for stage 2 evolutions. Rare Candy is the card to be talking about, though. Rare Candy is scary. It is definitely scary because it just seems incredibly powerful. And the kind of card that's just going to change the game as we know it, really. Especially like in a game like Pokemon Pocket. I hope they've done like their playtesting with it because it's extremely exciting and terrifying at the same time. But this card is just... it's incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. Like the ability to just like skip the stage 1 evolution and immediately play into the other one. Like there are stage 2 evolutions that are going to benefit more from this than others. Those who benefit from being developed as quickly as possible. Like a very good example that I mentioned already is Greninja. Greninja is going to love Rare Candy. Being able to evolve Froakie into Greninja by your second turn is insane. As you're going to be able to start throwing Water Shuriken from the get-go. Like that's a very clear example of like something that's just going to potentially be very strong because despite the fact that it's a stage 2 evolution, we've seen Greninja be a part of the meta for a long time. Even though it's falling off a little bit recently, I don't think it ever really stopped being bad. It's just that, you know, there are slightly more consistent versions of decks to be running right now. But with Rare Candy, I think Greninja is going to make Greninja and a lot of other stuff. But Greninja itself is going to make a massive comeback. And the game, as we know it, is going to be flipped over on its head. Which I've said like a million times at this point. But it really is what's going to happen. Like this card is going to shake and change everything. And I'm extremely excited for it. I think I spent like 15 minutes talking about Rare Candy alone at this point. But this is a wild card. Yeah. So I spent like over 30 minutes talking about a less than a minute. Yeah, I just had a lot to say. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. There was actually like a lot of information. And, you know, I yapped a lot. Sorry if it was too long of a video for a lot of you. Like maybe I should have made this shorter. But it just kind of like really, really threw me off. Like the Rare Candy just threw me for a loop. And I'm overall extremely excited for stage 2 evolutions getting very strong support. Very, very excited for that. Eager to see all these new supporter cards and how they impact the game. Some look a lot better than others, but we'll have to wait and see. And as soon as we got access to that full set leaked, I'm going to cover it. We're going to do it as usual. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the cards revealed so far. What do you think about Rare Candy? Please give me your opinion. I'm really, really curious as to what overall like the community is thinking about it. I've already said what I need to say. Like it's just bonkers that they're going with it. And I'm extremely excited to try it. Like there's so many decks I gotta. Oh my god! Like rare candy's gonna open up so many like lost, forgotten gems from early like stage 2 evolutions that were deemed unplayable. That may change, and I'm all for it. Love you. Have a soul day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.